Hello friends, welcome to Kick It 55 Fitness. My name is Kristin and you are joining me for Yoga for Athletes. Today we're going to take about 45 minutes and focus specifically on low back. I'm calling it little low back love. So many people experience chronic back pain, and if you don't, wonderful. But we all have moments when our back gets tight, whether it's sitting at a desk too much for work, driving the kids around in the car a lot, or maybe you strained something during a class, or moving out of your house into a new home. We all have back issues at different levels at one time or another. So this class is for you. It's something you can come back to. If you have a healthy back and you want to add this with a flow, I suggest that as well. What do you need today? Well, I am going to be cueing with blocks. So if you have blocks, go ahead and grab them. If you don't, maybe you find a firm pillow. Something that you can lay on, stack some blankets up. And with that, we will get started. Don't forget to subscribe to us and click on notifications so you can see our upcoming classes. And let's get going. Okay, friends, our back love starts right here. We're going to start in a child's pose today. So come on down. As we are getting into our child's pose, I do want to stress that if you are working with a back injury, you take everything at a pace that allows you to tap in and really feel for your range of motion. If you need to back off, you back off. If you want to go deeper, you know your body. So that said, bring your big toes to touch, separate your knees, sit bones are on your heels. And now bring your hands down to the mat so that you're hinging at the hips, not at the low back. In fact, tighten up through your low belly to support your low back, and then walk your hands out, lengthening through your spine as you lower. Bring your forehead down to the mat. This is also a good place if you'd like to use a block or a pillow. If you do not feel comfortable bringing your forehead all the way down, you could always slide a block under your forehead, such as here, or you could find a firmer pillow and find the support you need there. So make the adjustments with the props that you need, but find your child's pose, and once you arrive, simply release. Let your torso go. Let it sink. At the same time, think length. Imagine the long line between your tailbone and the tip, the crown of your head and your spine, each vertebrae lengthening as your arms are long. Arms are relaxed, but they're long. Let's take some breaths together, opening up through the rib cage. Take a deep breath in here and feel the back side of the body expand. And exhale, let it go. Take another deep breath here. Really concentrating on letting that torso just relax. Let it go so that it sinks. Gravity takes it toward the mat. Breathing in deeply, feeling that expansion, 360 degrees around the rib cage. And exhale out. Let's take one more breath in here, breathing in deeply. And exhaling fully. Now keep this child's pose, really being mindful to keep both sit bones over the heels equally, and walk your hands toward the left side of the mat. Just slide your forehead, lift it, and bring it over and set it down toward the edge, the left edge of the mat. And when you arrive, bring that right palm and place it on the left palm. Now it's really important to keep those sit bones down equally to find the stretch through the right side of the body and into that lower side of the back, low right side of the back. Let's take a deep breath in here. And exhale it out. As you breathe in again,
Take a scan of your body, make any adjustments that you feel are necessary to get the full benefits of this pose, but really tap in and see that your hips are nice and squared, breathing in and exhale out. And then let's take a breath in as we walk our hands through center and over toward the right side of the mat. Just pick up your head, bring it over, set your forehead down on that outer right edge of the mat. And then that left palm comes on top of the right. Your shoulders are square, those hips, those sit bones are square and down. Down for your range of motion too. If you can't bring them down to your heels, maybe you have a towel underneath you or a blanket. But right here, hips are square. Let's take our breath in. Breathe in deeply. Concentrating on feeling that left side of the body open up. And exhaling fully. Relaxing down through the arms, the shoulders, the face. Let's take another big breath in. And a full exhale out. And on your next breath in, walk your hands back to the center. Forehead is still down. Let's take one more breath here together, breathing in deeply. And exhaling fully. Nice. And now draw your hands right on each side of your face for support. Inhale, push into your palms to lift and hinge your torso on up, especially if you're dealing with a bit of a cranky back. And then draw your knees so they are parallel to each other and walk your hands forward. Let's meet in a tabletop. So we're going to keep the tops of the feet planted on the mat. Coming into our tabletop, our hips are stacked right over our knees, our shoulders are right over those wrists. Extra concentration, I always say it, on toning through the belly to support your low back, especially one that is feeling cranky. And we are going to take some cat-cows here. So take it slow and think about how this range of motion feels for your body right now. So inhale, sink the belly as you start to lift through your tail and lift through the crown of your head at the same time. Also being mindful, draw the shoulder blades back toward each other. This opens up your collarbones a little bit. You're breathing in here. And on the exhale, push the earth away as you start to drop your head, drop your tail, arching your back in a cat-like shape. Exhaling here. Inhale again for cow. Lifting the crown of the head and the tail in unison, pressing into the tops of those feet to help support you. Exhaling, cat. Start to drop the tail, lower the head down, press into your palms to press the earth away, maybe even pushing back a little bit to get into that low back, sending those sit bones back a little bit. Inhaling again through cow. And exhaling again through cat. And as your back starts to warm up, you begin to take on a rhythmic quality here, always being sure that the breath is connecting to the movements. And now that your body is getting a little warmer, you start to listen to it and find out what it's craving in these cat-cows. Can you go a little deeper? Do you need to back off? We'll take a few more here. You know your body, so feel into it. See what you need, but remembering to keep your inhales with your cow and your exhales with your cat as you arch cat-like through the back. Nice. Last one here. Inhale for cow. exhale for cat. And then yogis, let's meet in that solid tabletop again, right? So our belly is nice and toned, our neck is in line with our spine, and right here we will just come down to our forearms. So bring your forearms down, plant your palms, spread your fingertips, and now lower the rest of your body all the way down. We're coming into a Sphinx pose. So I want the tops of your feet still flat. Your arms are like a number 11. They're at a perfect 90-degree angle. Your shoulder is right over your elbow, and palms, fingertips are flat and pressing into the earth, okay? Your tops of your feet are pressing in because you want to have active legs here. So fire up your thighs. You'll even feel your kneecaps lift up. Okay, and get a little isometric work through the thighs here. Press into the tops of the feet. Now, on your inhale, press your palms and fingertips, your forearms into the ground. Inhale and lift your head so that you're looking forward. Slide your shoulder blades back and down, and imagine that you're trying to drag your body between your arms. Breathing in here. And on the exhale, release. Just let it go. Maybe you slowly bring your head back down. Let's take 2 more here. So pressing into the forearms, the palms. Inhale. Lifting your gaze. Maybe your eyes are closed, but your face is shining forward. Your shoulders are down away from your ears, and you're pressing into the mat and dragging your arms back as if you're pulling your body forward. And exhale, just release it. Ease up on it. Bring your head forward just a little bit. We'll take 1 more Sphinx pose here. Inhaling. Rise. Find that isometric strength, that pull through those forearms, fingers, palms, pressing, shoulders down. Your chest is expanding as if you're drawing your body through your arms. And then exhale, just ease off and relax. And now before we leave here, we'll take just a couple of neck rolls. So gently draw your chin down toward your chest. And on the next inhale, roll your right ear toward your right shoulder as you slowly start to lift, breathing in. And on the exhale, lower it back down, chin comes to center. On the next inhale, left ear starts to draw near the left shoulder as you lift your head and open up, breathing in. And exhale out, chin comes center, back down. Let's take a few more neck rolls here. Inhale, rising to the right, ear toward the shoulder. And exhale down. Through center, inhale, lifting the left ear toward the shoulder. Feeling a nice stretch, a nice opening through the neck. And exhale, come on down. Perfect. Now lower all the way down to the mat. Bring your forehead down. Relax your arms out to the side. Draw your knees to the outer edges of the mat and lift your heels up toward the ceiling. And then just kind of wave your legs back and forth a couple of times here. Just kind of shaking it out, neutralizing the spine a little bit. And then draw your legs long and down again. Now, bring your palms right by your shoulders, and pushing in with your palms, we're going to take our hips back to sit back on our feet. coming back onto our sit bones on our heels. So inhale here, lift your body up, come up onto your knees in your tabletop, and then send your sit bones directly back down onto your heels. So this time we're kneeling down, but our knees are directly forward. Walk your hands and come all the way up in this thunderbolt pose. So in contradiction to child's pose where our knees are out and we're hinging our torso forward, now our knees are together. Our sit bones are directly over our heels, tops of our feet are flat. We're kneeling, right? It's perfect. It feels good. Take a breath in here. And on the exhale, hinging again at the hips, bring your hands forward to support low back and lower your torso, this time directly onto your thighs. Bringing your forehead, the goal is toward the ground. If this is not in your range of motion, maybe you find that firm pillow or a block and bring your forehead down here, adjusting the block for what works for you. But the goal is to get your torso onto your thighs and bring yourself forward. Now, once you arrive and you release, draw your arms behind you, lay them flat with the palms up. Take a big breath in here. And on the exhale, let go. Let your shoulders go limp as if you're a rag doll. You'll feel them roll forward. And here's where we'll find our release for a few breaths. Take a deep breath in here, feeling the sensation. And here you'll feel it spread across the upper back, which is really nice. We've been working with the lower back. Nice to get in and feel that stretch through the mid, the upper back, letting the shoulders go slack. And exhale, release. And I mean really, let yourself imagine you're a rag doll. Those shoulders are just limp, rolling forward. Let's take 2 more breaths here, yogis. Inhale here. Connecting with your breath, sending it to the back side of the body, feeling that mid to upper back expand as you fill your lungs. And exhale out gently. And let's take 1 more deep breath here. And 1 more full exhale. And now reposition your hands just up by your shoulders. Inhale, push into your hands to rise back up. We're back in that kneeling position. And now I'm talking a lot about breath. And as you breathe, breathe in through your nose, gently out through your mouth, or if you want to use your Ujjayi breath, which adds layers a little heat in your body, you can inhale through the nose, seal your lips, and exhale back out. And you'll feel a slight constriction on the back of the throat. So different opportunities there, but just really try to connect the breath with your movements. So from here, we are going to come to a seat. So come onto your bum, and we are going to come into Baddha Konasana, or a butterfly pose. It's a seated pose, and it's not easy if you have tight hip flexors, which many people with back issues do. So here's where a pillow might come in handy, but also I've got some tips for you. So what I want you to do is bring the soles of the feet together and then draw those soles of the feet forward. Okay, so this might alleviate that awkward feeling you were having in your hips. If you're still feeling it, be sure to grab
the edge of a pillow so that you get a little tilt through your pelvis, and you have those soles of your feet connected here. You've slid your feet forward. So your feet are on the outer edges, are on your mat, right? Okay. Bring your hands to your shins, to your ankles. Just hold on here. Drawing strength again through the belly. You see there's a theme here, that belly. You always are working the belly because it's always protecting your low back. Strong, nice and firm through the belly. Breathe in. And on the exhale, hinging at the hips, start to bring your body forward. You'll feel a stretch in the low back. If you're feeling pain, tension through the hip flexors, you slide those feet forward a little bit more. You find a little more real estate on your pillow. Another opportunity, and I love having a block or a pillow for this because it really helps. Take that block, place it on your feet, and as you come forward, and I have it at the highest level right now, I'm going to relax my forehead down on the block. I'm going to find some peace here. My arms come long. I just have them down on the mat. And with this support for my head, and you find your support, and where this feels right, you'll feel a stretch through your low back. And we're going to stay in this posture for a number of breaths. So take a deep breath in here. And exhale out. Read your body, see if there's any cranky feelings, if you need to make any adjustments. For me, I'm going to slide my feet back slightly and come off of my pillow. If you have a block on your next breath, perhaps you're starting to feel a little release. Maybe you lower the block one level. Inhaling. And then exhaling out and finding a little more release here. It's also really nice for the outer hips. What type of breath have you decided to use? We're inhaling through the nose, either gently exhaling through the mouth or with sealed lips, sending that exhale back out with a slight constriction at the back of the throat, but breathing in and exhaling, feeling that release. We'll stay here for a few more breaths, so tap in and see if you're ready to maybe go to the next lower level on your block. How can you find a little more release here? Take a breath in and exhale. Find a little more relaxation. Just let your upper body go. Getting a nice deep stretch into the low back. Let's take one more breath here. Breathing in. And then start to walk our hands back up. Now in Yin Yoga, we hold poses a lot longer than we're doing here. So you can keep some of these poses in mind and take any of them and hold them for 3 to 5 to more minutes if you want. So easing off of our butterfly pose, we're going to come down onto our backs. So let's bring the soles of our feet back onto the mat. And when you are ready, lower yourself all the way down onto your back. Once you arrive, draw your knees up and reach your arms around your shins. bringing those knees close to the body. Draw your arms together, circle them around the shins. And I like to bring those knees right up toward my armpits. Maybe even flex your feet, roll your ankles out since we've been on our feet quite a bit. But finding a nice low back stretch here. And then we can even take it and take a little rock from side to side. Maybe even a couple of circles. So lifting and lowering the tailbone. Circling one way. Circling another. Again, kind of feeling into what your back is telling you, what's approachable right now. And then come right back to that full wind relieving pose where your arms are around the shins. We'll take a last little rock side to side here. Staying with the breath. And then gently lowering your feet down. Actually, no, sorry. Bring your knees back up. Draw your hands this time underneath your knees and bring them together. Then bend your knees and let's start to rock just the length of the mat. Rocking up and back. And when we arrive up, we are seated again. Okay, nice. Stretched out that low back there. Now, just swivel your feet around. We're going to move into a standing pose or two. Again, being mindful of where you are in your journey with your back. So, coming back to that tabletop, we're ready to move into a downward facing dog. So this time, curl your toes under. Your knees are hips width apart. Your toes are curled under. You're pressing into your palms and all 10 fingers, and then inhale and press into your toes, lift your hips up. Okay, so it's really leg strength here. You're lifting your body up, and once you do, let's talk about downward facing dog. Okay, so start to lift and lower through your heels. You're going to feel a stretch through the backside of the calves, the hamstrings. Let's walk up the body and talk about the anatomy of our downward facing dog so we get the best out of it. A bend in the knees is plenty fine because it helps you focus on keeping your spine nice and long. If you have the flexibility to straighten your legs, go for it. Just don't lock out your knees. You never want to do that. So you're pedaling it out here. You find a place of stillness, but there's always a little micro bend in the knees to a big bend in the knees, whatever works for you here. Now your belly is drawn in so that your tail is lifting up toward that back corner of the room, and once again your belly is supporting your low back. Okay? Your chest is softening down towards your thighs. You are pressing through all the fingertips down and away so that you lift your side bodies out of your shoulder blades. You're not dumping your body into your shoulders. You're lifting away, finding lots of length, right? Lifting those hips up toward the ceiling. Nice. And then we're wrapping, finding a hollowed out sensation through the armpits, wrapping those shoulder blades back and down and finding some room for our neck here. And then think length from the crown of your head to the tippy end of your tailbone. Breathe in here and exhale out.
We'll take one more deep breath in and exhale, relaxing your face, your neck. On the next breath, bend your knees slightly, tilt your eyes so they come just to your hands, and then walk your feet behind your wrists. So you want to bring your feet a little wider now. Okay? You're bending at the hips. A bend in the knees is great. And if you're in a position to release, go ahead and do so. Maybe you grab for opposite elbows. And right here, you bring all of your weight into the ball mounds of your feet. You're grabbing those opposite elbows. You're feeling gravity working its magic, bringing your shoulders, the weight of your head down to find some space between each vertebrae. If this feels good, stay with it. If you need a little support, this is a great place for a block. Perhaps you put a block on the highest setting and bring your head down to it. Take a few breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling out. And then slowly start to draw your feet toward each other. And on the next inhale, with bent knees, start to walk your hands up your shins. And then extending your spine long. Find a halfway lift here. So planting down firmly through all four corners of the feet. I really want those hands supported by your shins, or for working with a real sensitive back, perhaps you use blocks here and find this nice halfway lift. Our neck is long in line with our spine. Our belly is drawn in. Inhaling here. And on the exhale, bring your hands either back down on those blocks or onto the mat. Bend your knees and let's send our right leg back. Now, not everybody is in a position to lunge, so this is something to consider. I want you to bring the back right knee down, the back right top of the foot down, and then rise up, bringing your hands onto your left knee. And right here, we find a little stretch in our kneeling warrior. Now, depending on your range of motion, is how deep you can get into this stretch. And the reason I'm taking us here is because oftentimes with back pain, we need to get into those hip flexors as well. We're down on our knees, which is a little safer. If you want to work with blocks, you can be right here. If your doctor has told you no lunging, then this is not for you at this point. Right here in your kneeling warrior, I want you to lift up through your chest, square your hips, and then isometrically drag that left heel back as your right knee almost comes forward. It's not really moving, but there's a connection there. Feel the stretch. If you have a lot of range of motion here, perhaps you bring it forward a little bit more, but again, thinking about your back. Inhale here. And on the exhale, let's send our hips back. Either our hands are down on the mat or on these blocks. And we start to straighten that front leg, sending those sit bones back. The goal here is getting into the hamstring, finding some length there. This length, all of this is going to help with low back pain.
Inhale one more time through Kneeling Warrior, pressing either into those blocks, hand on your leg, hands down at your side, whatever feels right for you here. Inhale as you sit up tall through your torso. And then exhale, shift the hips back as you straighten the left leg. Nice. And then let's come back down into our tabletop and we'll go to the other side. Taking it nice and carefully, we'll rise back up through our down dog. Bend the knees, inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk it back to the top of your mat, to that forward fold. You can find support you need here. This time, inhale, press into the blocks, finding that halfway lift, and then send the left leg back, either hands on the blocks, hands on the mat. Bring the knee down, find your Kneeling Warrior on this side. Again, release the foot so the top of the foot is down with the use of blocks, or if you're in a position where you can rise up and bring your hand onto your knee, you find your Kneeling Warrior on this side. Most important, hips are squared, tummy is nice and toned, and really think about that right heel. It's as if it wants to pull back and your left knee wants to pull forward. Right here, inhale. And on the exhale, send those hips back, straightening that right leg, getting into that hamstring, supporting. Maybe you're using blocks or using the mat. I'm showing it both ways, whatever's working for you at home. Inhale, come back through your Kneeling Warrior. Find your stretch here. And on the exhale, sending those sit bones back as you straighten the right leg. Bring your hands down, blocks or mat for support. Finding that stretch. Getting into those hip flexors, the psoas muscles, the hamstrings will all help support and help you with working to achieve a healthy back. And then let's come back here and we'll simply bring our hands down and find our tabletop. Nice. Now we're going to come down all the way to our bellies. We just have a couple of moves left. This one happens to be my absolute favorite. So when you are ready, come all the way down in a prone position or on your belly, and let's come so that our left cheek is down on the mat. Okay? And let's goalpost our arms, so just relax them down. We're not using our arms, they're just to the goalpost at our side. I want you here to inhale and then slide. Keep both your hip bones down. Slide your right knee along the mat, bringing it up to a 90-degree angle. That's it. And right here, find a little stretch. A nice release in the low back. You're also getting into that inner thigh as well. Inhale here. And exhale out. Now, yogis, if you are in a position to take this further, I will add on another layer here, but be very careful. So, draw your forearms underneath you and rise up onto them. And then inhale here and bring that left hand. You don't even lift the elbow off the ground. You want to use both elbows to support. Just take that left hand and reach it underneath your right arm. And then slowly draw it and bring it so that it reaches your right knee. Lower back down on your left shoulder. Bring your head down. And then take the right arm up and over and open up for a full twist right here. If twisting is something that you're able to do at this point in either recovery or, you just have crankiness in your back, twisting is so good for your low back, bringing blood, fresh oxygen to those discs, keeping everything nice and lubricated for a healthy back. Take one more breath in. And on the exhale, let's come all the way back. And then just bring ourselves back down where we were. So that left cheek was down. And now just slide that foot back and come all the way straight down onto the ground again. And now we'll reach and do it the other side. So now I'm going to come forward and give you a forward shot. So now just rotate out and come down onto your right cheek. Your arms are goal posted. You're nice and relaxed here. You're on your right cheek this time. Inhale here and send your left knee sliding along the floor, coming to a 90-degree angle. And just hang out here. Find the stretch. Keep your hips nice and squared and press down through the leg. You'll feel a stretch through your inner thigh as well as getting a little release, comfort through the low back. If you want to take it to that next step, if you know that it's in your range of motion, draw your forearms underneath you, so lifting up slightly. And then same thing, both your elbows stay down. You just take that right hand and weave it underneath the left hand and then reach it to grab for that left knee. Draw your right shoulder down and then take that top left arm and open it up, finding your twist. And then take a moment here. Breathing in and exhaling out. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale. And you're welcome to stay in these twists for longer. I'm just trying to keep our class to about 45 minutes. So take a breath in here and let's rotate back. And we'll just come out of it the way that we came into it. So drawing that arm back, bringing your cheek back down and slide your legs back. And come right down so that your forehead is on the ground, and take your feet, your knees a little bit wide, lift your feet up and just rock, windshield wipering your feet back and forth. And then bring your feet down, draw your knees so that they're together again and parallel. Bring your hands next to your shoulders. Inhale, rise up through your table. We'll find one more child's pose here. We started with them, so let's end. So spread those knees to the outer edges, big toes to touch. Find that child's pose. Bring your forehead down and release. And you can stay here, yogis, and end your practice, or I give you one more move to end our class, seal our time together with. So rise back up and slide your hip bones so that you come to a seat. But then what I want you to do is bring your feet in front of you, your soles of your feet wide on your mat. Bring your hands down behind you. Your toes are pointing forward. Your feet are at the wide edges of your mat. You're leaning back. So your low back, everything is nice and supported. And from here, you just tuck each knee in. And windshield wipering the legs, right and left, right and left, right and left. And this is another place. So either I'm leaving you in child's pose or you're taking this final move here. And with that, my friends, I will say goodbye for this segment, this 30 minutes, actually 45 minutes of yoga for athletes, getting into that low back. You can take this class anytime, take it at your own pace. In fact, I suggest that you watch through it, maybe even before doing it, or slow it down so that you can get into the poses without turning and cranking your head. So with that, I will sign off. Thank you, and I'll see you on your mat soon. Namaste. Okay, friends, there you have it. This has been Yoga for Athletes. It's been about 45 minutes. We have been focusing on the low back. I hope that this is a segment that you can come back to and use often. In fact, if you have a really healthy back, if you're not worried about an injury, I suggest from time to time you take one of the flow sessions or run through a couple of Sun A's and then come down for these postures that help with low back and combine the two together. We'll see you again on your mat soon, and don't forget to subscribe to us and push on notifications, and make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Please make sure to give me a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, please give me some comments, and we will see you on your mat.
Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on push notifications so you know when our next workout posts.